PvP, or player versus player, you against me in a battle of skill and wits, planning and reacting, adapting, overcoming an opponent. There are few things more exciting than beating a human opponent in a fair game of skill. It is fair to say I really enjoy competition. I love playing GoldenEye back on the N64, split screen, no odd job. I love PvP in Dark Souls, parrying, dodging, rolling, spinning around in circles, chugging Estus before the fight so you know it's all or nothing. Modern Warfare lobbies back on the 360, Tabletop Warhammer 40k for the Emperor, Magic the Gathering, Unbanned Birthing Pod, Burnout 3 Crash Junctions, Worms and all the iconic catchphrases. Or one of my favourite games of all time, Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn, the original for the Brotherhood of Nod. I absolutely love engaging competition, and it is my love of engaging competition that makes me dislike hardcore PvP focused MMOs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Dreyfus. Regular viewers of this channel will know that it's all about MMORPGs, and I've got some pretty strong opinions on hardcore player versus player focused MMORPGs. Regular viewers will know that I'm not exactly keen on them. I've got some rather harsh words for them. This is not because I don't enjoy player versus player or competition. Quite the opposite. I very much enjoy fair and balanced competition, and I believe that hardcore PvP MMOs are actually the antithesis of this. They go against what fair and balanced competition was designed to be. So in this video, I'd like to explain exactly why I dislike MMORPGs that describe themselves as hardcore PvP experiences. And to answer your question this time, yes. There is tea in this mug. Before we begin, consider dropping a like on the video or subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell so you get all the future notifications, and as usual, a huge thank you to this now awkwardly long list of patrons and the Twitch viewers for supporting the channel. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. To fully explain why I don't like hardcore PvP focused MMOs, I need to explain what I do enjoy about competition and then link it to hardcore MMOs later on. So for a foundation, let's take the elements I believe are vital for enjoyable competition. Ultimately, it all boils down to this. I enjoy competition if the majority of the time I spend in a game is uncertain about the victor. Put simply, at any moment, either side could win by playing better or being smarter. I find this state enjoyable because it keeps me in the zone of my decisions matter. If I know that a competition I'm involved with isn't decided yet, I am pushed to try and win. I enjoy existing in that state, knowing winning is down to me. Once the outcome becomes clear, however, and there's no way to alter it, the game is effectively over. And one of the least enjoyable situations for me personally is playing a game when the outcome is already known. It's like playing Monopoly when somebody already has all the houses and all the money. You're not playing for the competition anymore. You know the winner. You're just going through the motions. Mostly because the person who is winning is enjoying the feeling of winning and insists you keep playing. The state of your actions matter is important to keeping any PvP game alive and active, and keeping all the participants engaged because they are relevant. Let me give you some examples of what happens if you ignore this state. If you make a game so unbalanced that each individual person or each team involved has no chance of winning. Imagine playing any team game, but your side has 5 players and they have 50. Also, your goal area is twice the size of theirs. Imagine playing Magic the Gathering, but your opponent can start with half their deck already on the board. Imagine playing Time Splitters, but you can only use the pistol and have half health, and they get a minigun. Imagine playing 40k when you get 50 points and they get 5,000 points. Unbalanced competition isn't fun for me, and while I do understand the appeal of the underdog fighting through difficult odds, I still need to know there is a chance of victory. Once that chance is removed, I lose interest in trying. I enjoy Dark Souls even though it's difficult because I know the chance of victory is there. If I play skillfully, victory will be mine. Most PvP games understand the state of equal outcome is important. All sides need to start with the knowledge that they might win. And so most PvP games take steps to keep this state going. PvP games start with equal teams most of the time. If there's an odd number of people, you might find the sides become slightly unbalanced, but a majority of the times, to keep them fair, Overwatch, League of Legends, Call of Duty, they try and make sure there are equal players on both sides. Most PvP games match players of equal skill levels. They don't put beginners against veterans. Dark Souls has the soul level mechanic. Most online games have ranks or leagues. Players are placed against someone of roughly their skill level, so the competition remains equal. But perhaps the most important elements of equal PvP in any media, most PvP games start every engagement by resetting to a neutral playing field. The match resets, the players restart, you go back to a team spawn point, the map begins with no points captured, the items and weapons are reset, the decks are reshuffled, your leveling up in a previous match is lost, and all the players begin the game knowing that everyone is fair again. This match will be decided by the skill shown in this match alone. The base you built last time, the cards you drew last game, the movements your models made on the board, they're all gone, they're irrelevant. The new match starts now, and victory or defeat is equally likely this time. I enjoy this level of competition because it means a loss doesn't follow me and make me more likely to lose again, and a win doesn't support me and make me more likely to win. If anything, it's the opposite. Winning places me against harder opponents and the skill level raises to match. Losing moves me down ranks. Eventually it will stabilize into the most fair level for me, the most engaging competition. I enjoy this because to me competition is at its best when all participants are of equal skill, equal understanding and equal desire to win. And the game has provided no advantages or disadvantages to either side, simply mechanics to master and to win. Now let's take all the elements I love about competition and see why they don't work in PvP hardcore MMOs. By its very nature, the MMO is an ongoing game. One of the appeals of it is that it doesn't reset, it remains, and your levels and advancements stay. It's a long-term investment. Your gained power is never lost. This is a major issue with the state of fair competition. Just look at how those previous points and see how the PvP-focused MMO fails to meet them. That's why I don't enjoy it. There are of course exceptions, and I'll look at those afterwards. But to start off with, look at team size. MMO games that focus heavily on open-world PvP often have no team size limits. A group of 5 roving players can easily overpower a single player. This to me isn't engaging PvP, it's a one-way war. Engaging matches teams of equal size, so team composition matters. Team dynamics, team tactics. If you can only take 5 people against 5 people, you must know your 5 are geared for whatever challenge they may face. Removing the team size limit removes the strategy of having a specific build. Just throw more people at it and you'll likely win. You end up with a Zerg. If I'm running through a PvP area and I get jumped by 10 guys, no matter how skilled I am, it won't matter. I'm going to lose. This isn't engaging for me. What about equal skill levels? Well, because MMOs are open world and don't match up players by skill, it's totally possible for a 1-month max level player to get into a fight with a 1-year max level player. There's going to be a very big divide in equipment, stats, items and general skill. Both players may have the max level, but the veteran player is going to have a huge advantage because they will understand the class mechanics better. And so they should. They're more experienced. They're likely to win because of that experience. But they're not fighting people of equal experience. They're fighting people of inferior skill. And so the battle isn't as engaging for me. Watching 2 equal opponents is great. Watching 2 mismatched opponents is somewhat dull. It's like watching some kid take on a grandmaster. I already know the outcome of this fight. But the single biggest issue for me with PvP hardcore MMOs is they do not reset, and the power gap grows and grows and never stops. Remember how I enjoy how most competitions reset to neutral before a new battle happens? The teams start on even ground. MMOs specifically do not do this. As you gain levels and items and power and your guild grows and your territory control increases, it stays that way. It dominates and overpowers and never resets. When a player in an MMO kills another, especially in a hardcore PvP focused MMO, the victor now has more experience, more power and more items. This tends to snowball and will grow exponentially. The people who win are more likely to win again. The people who lose are more likely to lose again, and the divide grows. The PvP-focused hardcore MMO is an example of competition where the winners gain and then keep an advantage, and the losers are weakened, and this balance never gets reset to zero. You end up with a feedback loop where the strong get stronger and the weak get weaker, and the balance of fair and equal competition slowly gets pushed further and further away. I said at the start I enjoy competition when it's fair and balanced. The reason I dislike PvP-focused MMOs is the entire game is based around making it unfair and unbalanced in your favour and then keeping that unfair balance. Players want more power permanently. Guilds want more people and more land. The whole pull of an MMO is this will never reset, and the fun of competition for me is equal footing before each conflict. These two design choices are at opposition. This design choice ultimately always leads to a few powerful individuals or clans dominating and new players being torn apart. Look at Mortal Online, what I assume will happen with Mortal Online 2, Life is Feudal, Albion Online, or Darkscape. The games suffer because they are built on competition, but then they are built in such a way that the competition can become massively skewed. It's incredibly difficult for new players to advance when older, more well-geared, better, more powerful players can consistently and repeatedly kill them. PvP-focused MMOs are only fair on the day of release, or for the first few weeks after them, when the player base has a roughly equal skill and power level. The longer they go on, the more that power divide increases and the less fun I personally have. If I'm at the top, I don't enjoy winning easily. If I'm at the bottom, I don't enjoy being beaten easily. It's important to point out I have no problem at all with losing. I don't mind being beaten, provided I know my opponent beat me through sheer skill or decision making, not through effort they put in for thousands of hours while I was offline and therefore I never had a chance. So how do the bigger, more successful MMOs deal with PvP? Well, RuneScape has the Wilderness, a specific area for PvP which has level ranges, meaning you actively decide when to engage and you decide the level range you wish to fight. There's also single-way combat zones within the Wilderness so you can avoid being jumped by a clan, or there's a duel arena where you can choose what items and weapons are used. The level of competition is decided by the players. Guild Wars 2 levels everyone up to maximum in the PvP zone and provides PvP-specific builds and items, meaning it's all about player skill. Everyone starts each PvP match on the same footing. The Elder Scrolls Online has the dueling system where you decide who you fight and when, or Cyrodiil, an area you can decide to adventure into if you want to. World of Warcraft has the Battlegrounds where teams start in a set location and then begin the battle. It resets every time and starts at least somewhat fair. All the big MMOs do what they can to make PvP as fair and as balanced as it can be because that is when players are most engaged. Personally, I love competition, both in real life and in video games, but I love it most when it's fair and balanced. And the nature of the non-reset hardcore PvP-focused MMO means it is specifically designed to not be fair or balanced for very long. What do you think about PvP within the MMO space? Is it fun when fair or more enjoyable when unbalanced? Let me know in the comments below. Another massive thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and Twitch. You can join the Patreon from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter and our Discord. And as always, have a great day.